Hello and welcome to another episode of Earth Your While. I'm Jack.
And I'm Ellie. This is the podcast where we chat to industry experts and sustainable business leaders as we try to uncover the easiest and most effective ways to make your business better for the planet.
Today we're joined by Phil Kalli. Is that right?
Yeah,
sorry.
That's right. Yeah, it is right, yeah.
Nice. Today we're joined, you can tell I did my research. Today we're joined by Phil Kalli, founder at the Phil Refill Co., the original zero waste, closed loop household refill company. They produce responsible cleaning, laundry, body and hair products, and I believe they're the coolest products out there. That's what my research told me. You're a certified B Corp, recently certified, and all products are manufactured at your family factory in
Northamptonshire, yeah.
Northamptonshire, yeah.
yeah.
Nice to have you on, Phil. Really nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Cool.
How was my intro? What do you reckon?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, no, really, and 10 out of 10 and super up to date. We only announced B Corp this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool.
We saw that on your socials. So yeah, that's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're not going to stop banging on about that for a while because it's taken a long time. I think I first looked into it in 2014 when there was like 70 B Corps around. And it's sort of testament to my own ineptitude that it's taken so long to do it. Because you fill in the form and then you sort of other things take over. And getting everyone else to understand that it was important back then was really hard. But obviously now it's like it's sort of moved up the agenda.
Yeah,
we're really really delighted.
I feel like since you joined, Phil, it's become the coolest accreditation out there.
I think they've said this week that there's now 1,000 UK B Corp. So nice. I don't know if you were like the 1,000th. Maybe you were. I don't know.
I like to think that we announced it on the day that they announced the 1,000th.
Really?
But we made it inside the first 1,000, which was like that. I was saying to Lucy and Celia, we have to, it would be terrible if we were just outside that.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. We're happy. But it doesn't mean anything if you don't do anything with it. So it's just the beginning,
Yeah.
That's a nice way of putting it, actually.
Exactly.
Cool. So we thought, Phil, maybe you could tell us about your story, like who you are, how you came to be, why you're on this mission with the Refill Co.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So it's quite a long story because I'm old. And I certainly feel old, and I feel like I've been doing this a long time. I mean, my background is I went to art college, then I did a degree in English literature, then I what did I do? Worked in a shop, and then a shop. Actually, it's a guy called Nick Ashley. He was a big influence on me because he championed British manufacturing. He's Laura Ashley's son. He had his own a clothing brand.
Is that
but
Laura
he really
Ashley?
sort of taught me
Is that like a furniture brand or something?
The designer. No, he's like quite a small. Like he designed actually like motorcycle clothing and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But he really taught me the importance of provenance and things being made in the UK. From I was young at the time, but it sort of stuck with me. Then I went on to work for a music magazine and then managed my friend's band, which I did for quite a long time. We signed to EMI, did a load of stuff, had a lot of fun. But then that came to an end and I didn't know really what to do with myself. I hadn't really got a plan. And my dad is a chemist. He's been making cleaning products, laundry products since like the mid 70s, He's always done everything himself. Had his own little factory in Northamptonshire and ran like a small lifestyle business, I guess, where he had innovated when he sort of went into the industry and made a real change, and he was delivering product and getting the drums and the IBCs back So like that model kind of existed, but it was only for professional laundries, and it wasn't really for sustainability reasons that they were reusing the packaging. It was more because it was cheaper. It just made sense. And it's quite interesting that a lot of industrial practice is actually, there's a lot of sense in the idea of reuse, which is obviously what you guys do too. You know, it's sort of, it's then applying those things to retail and trying to make them cool. You know, and that idea gets a bit of heat. Like, you know, should everything be cool or whatever? But for me, it was like to change behaviors and to kind of get more people to aspire to reuse. We had to make something that was good looking, you know. So yeah, the idea of Phil came pretty soon after I joined my dad, and he'd said to me, "Come and like do a year with me or two, see how it goes." And that was 15 years ago. So, you know, it's been quite a long road, and we've had to change. I don't know, because I haven't started a business from nothing. You know, I'm well aware of like the privilege I had to come into a business that was functioning and exist. But I would say from my experience, it is quite hard to change the direction of an existing business so wholeheartedly, and to get the buy-in from everyone, and for them not to think that you're like a hippie lunatic, because you know we've made a lot of decisions that are not based on profit, that are, you know, that have made the business smaller, that I guess impact everyone, but it's bringing everyone with you and sort of getting them to believe that, you know, this is a business to be proud to be a part of, and that we have a direction that's exciting, and you know, it's an opportunity for them to be part of it. But it's taken me a long time to try and get that to happen.
I think as well. So, I think that's something that's really lacking from like a lot of businesses these days, especially big businesses, because there's so many of these big businesses now that control entire marketplaces, and they just have no. Well, they lose purpose, they lose personality, and ultimately, I think people just have crap lives that work for them, probably. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I that's a great way of putting it. Like, personality is absolutely key. And I think I spent a lot of my first years at the company trying to build or create a personality for the business as it was. And that isn't to say that the people in the company didn't have a personality. They did. But it's like, but you do need to build a culture, and you do need to create, like, if for me, it's like I managed a band. A company is the same as a band. Yeah. Like, you want to create something that is, I don't know. I used to watch the Monkees when I came home from school. That kind of idea of like, I wanted to be in the Monkees. They look like they had a cool life. Yeah. So like, I feel like I wanted to do the same with a company. Like, let's everyone want to be a part of this, you know, this kind of like gang. And we've got our belief is single use is over. And we're going to encourage refill, and that's our message, you know, and let's tell everyone that's what we do, you know, that's our hit song.
Do you think the secret to kind of building a culture is getting people to believe in that kind of message collectively? Is that?
I think as well, I think like from what you're saying, it's like getting people to feel like they can channel some of their creativity into it, like everybody, and then all of a sudden these magical things can happen.
How did you find as well working with your dad, because we're siblings? So I just wondered.
I'm working on that.
We're still working on it, but how did you find working with family? Was that fun?
I had loads of people warned me about it, and because I have a lot of friends that, you know, have done the same. I'm Greek Cypriot. My dad's Greek Cypriot. It's like a rite of passage that it's expected that you're going to work in the family business if it's a chip shop or a hairdresser, or in my case, you know, a laundry detergent maker. It's kind of expected, and I resisted it as much as I could. Like, my dad used to buy me chemistry sets, and you know, brought me stuff home from the lab. I had like a little oil Bunsen burner at home, and you know, stuff. And I didn't really, you know, I was like, I went to art college. I couldn't have like rebelled further from chemistry. But yeah, no, it's been amazing working with him. He's a really, like, genuinely, he's a cool guy, and he respects me and what I want to do, because he knows that I want to do the right thing, and he's allowed me. It's amazing, because I don't think I would be that cool. Like if I'd created a business from nothing, like he has, and then someone came in and just said, no, sorry, that's great, but we're going to change all that, and it's going to be done like this, and we're going to call it after, I'm going to change the name to be like my name, which is the most narcissistic thing ever. And I'm very aware that wasn't the intention. It was more supposed to be a brand at the time, but it's become more than that.
Coincidence.
Yeah, he's just been totally cool. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. What's the word? Nominative determinism. But yeah, it's he's the number one fan. He lives in Chichester now. He still goes around, like we've got a refill store in Chichester called Refill. It's a really beautiful store. He goes in there and says, I'm Phil's dad. And he's really proud. He's really proud to be a part of it. He'll phone me up and say, I've seen there's a new farm shop open down the road. Shall I go in and tell them about Phil? It's lovely that he's, and he's got his reusable cup. He drives an electric car. He's got his Brita water filter. He's made all the changes that we recommend to make himself. So yeah, it's great. He's to have his backing is wonderful.
I think as well, like because we worked a lot with like our dad early on, and the thing I noticed is when you've got someone that's got like 20, 30 years of experience, you're able to kind of learn from all the mistakes that they've already made. So it's kind of like you kind of jump forward almost a little bit. It's quite a cool thing.
That hasn't stopped me making loads.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have to test the theory for yourself, and yeah. I
love what you guys have done. I'm a big fan of the way you firstly your whole concept, and the way your whole company has a really nice ethos, a really nice feel, and you can tell there's a lot of passion and purpose as well.
Yeah, and I think the thing we're trying to do as well is just trying to remind people, like, just have fun, like try and have fun today, this week.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about Phil Refill. Like, tell us about the products and what you can get, who you service, and also kind of how it works. Like, obviously the idea is refillable products, but how does that whole process work?
Yeah, so I'm going to make it sound way more complicated than it is. The whole idea is that everything that you get from us can be returned in some way to be refilled. So the basic premise is nothing is thrown away. That's quite a simple ideal. But yeah, it works in loads of different ways. So we started off by making like a few core products that we felt everyone has and uses, but generate a lot of waste. So obviously we had expertise in laundry detergent making. Mm-hmm. So we made basically the product that I wanted to use, product that smelled great, worked great, looked cool. And gradually we've obtained all the accreditations that I felt were important to get. So that's taken a long time. And then we've just added products as we go. We've also taken products away that we felt weren't necessary, or if we've improved, like we're working a lot on concentrates and stuff now. And then we've added like personal care products, because obviously that's a huge area of waste. So it's like looking at what should you have in the kitchen, in the bathroom, or around the home, and how can you just cut all that packaging? And then it's kind of happened to us, like most of the way we supply is through zero waste stores, which when we started there weren't very many. There was a handful, and then after Blue Planet in 2018, they just started opening everywhere, and people just the awareness was incredible. And almost overnight, we started getting like this huge demand for bulk product to be supplied in closed loop, because there were obviously suppliers of eco products long before us, doing a great job, but for whatever reason, and I can understand because I know how difficult it is, they weren't doing a closed loop in the way that we aspired to do when we started. We just like, let's do it, let's try it and see. We hadn't really costed it out, because you've got someone driving and you got to wash the stuff, and like there's loads of logistics that needs to happen. It was just like, let's do it and let's try and make it work and learn as we go. And we did. And then word spreads. And, if you do a good job and you're nice to people and you make good products, you don't really need to sell. And we've never had any salespeople. People have just talked about us and found us, and they like the products. And we're lucky that, I'm lucky because I'm not a chemist. I'm lucky that the products that we were making, the brains that were making them, were doing a great job, and my input was to try and help make them look cool. And, hopefully that helped as well. And it's kind of, it's great. I mean, we had like 100 followers on Instagram for like 5 years, couldn't get beyond that. And then like in 2018, it just sort of started growing, not because we changed anything, just, it was something that people wanted suddenly.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot more, people are a lot more aware of it now. And obviously people are more anti-plastic and they want to do something that helps the environment. And I think it's amazing that you go to all that effort of getting the packaging back. And as you say, like washing it, because I still think there's a huge focus on, especially with the bigger corporates, that you must just recycle or obviously reuse like what we do. But, to get that product back and to kind of repurpose it and refill it, like that's, like you said, that's a pretty big logistical thing that you do. So that's, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's all learning as you go. And what I love is that you get to meet lots of people that think the same along the way. So we, obviously we discovered you guys. We didn't know that existed. Yeah. And that solves a problem that's amazing. We work with a guy in London, Hamish and Laura. They run Planet Minimal, which is like a closed loop logistics provider just for London. So instead of us sending diesel trucks in to deliver to all the stores we supply in London, we just send one bulk delivery. I think they're a customer of yours actually as well, maybe.
Are they?
Planet Minimal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think so. We send one like IBC in, and then they do electric vehicle delivery, last mile delivery all around London. Nice. And then they pick up the drums. So they're closing their own loop. And it's like just that chance to meet and work with people like that are doing this, and it all aligns. And it, that's what makes it exciting. And there's so many more things that are going to happen, and people that want to do, better things and fit into this new kind of economy of reuse and thinking. Sometimes it's kind of thinking backwards, isn't it? It's like bringing things back the way they used to be. That's exciting.
Yeah. Why do you think it's important that businesses or individuals should do this and stuff? What kind of drives you to push this?
Well, basically I'm a dad, and I've got a 5-year-old son, and my wife is expecting, and I've got the same responsibility everyone else has. That I want I guess my role as a business owner is, in as much as to be profitable and ensure everyone in the team is happy. It's not about how much profit we make every year. It's about what can I say that I've done? How proud can I be of what we know that there are things that we can do. Let's do them, and if I can do a business and also it can be good, or be better than what else is out there, then I'm happy. Which will hopefully that motivation will just keep us trying to improve what we do. Don't rest on your laurels.
Yeah, well said.
Because I think as well, you touched on it earlier. Obviously, you've just become a B Corp, and you've got like a whole host of accreditations on your website. Is it you're cruelty-free, vegan, plastic-free? You're a living wage employer. You've also joined 1% for the planet? So that's
for me, that's one of the most important 1% for the planet. I love that.
So how did you kind of justify that as a small business? Did you just think that was a really important thing you wanted to do? Because I think that's, a lot of small businesses would probably think, it's really nice, but we just can't afford. Because is it 1% of revenue goes to charities?
Yes, 1%. 1% of revenue, yeah, which is a bit of a shock to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's like I guess 1% describe it themselves really well. That we pay taxes, we pay our staff, and we should pay the planet. And it's I really like that idea. How are we ever gonna recover the situation we're in if we don't start thinking about that? And for me, that's like there's so much more that we probably could do. 1% of turnover, is it a lot? It sounds a lot when you look at, but it's amazing what you do waste 1% on as a business. But if you've earmarked this amount and you committed to it, then it's not such a shock. Like the first one was like, I'm writing this check or whatever. But then then it's become so we give money to Wildlife Trust. We're looking at some other partners for next year. But actually, when you start seeing what the money's gone towards, you start looking forward to like, I hope we make this much for the charity next year. And it makes you really proud. And actually, I was worried that actually the team would go, oh, hang on, they're giving, like we've given, I think it's £30,000 in total to the Wildlife Trust over the last few years, which, it's a salary, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I was worried that people in the team would be like, oh, how come they've got that money to give to the Wildlife Trust when we could perhaps be earning a bit more? Yeah. And I do understand that. But I like to think that they understand the reasons why I think that's important, because otherwise, these organizations like the Wildlife Trust are doing, absolutely amazing work that, that businesses aren't doing. And so that's all we can do. All we can do is, give cash, I guess.
I think as well, paying like a tax to the planet, like it's a lot more logical than paying a tax to the government.
Yeah, well, yeah, who are not, not meeting the targets that they set for single-use plastic or for net zero or anything. So it's a kind of taking it into your own hands, which I think is important.
Quite empowering as well. And I think with the coming back to the the part of the team aspect, I guess it comes back to culture, doesn't it? And getting employees like behind that as well and getting them excited about it. And
I think it builds that story, that story internally in the organization, which probably just gets people to believe in it more and believe in what you're doing more.
Yeah, I mean, to show that you're purpose driven, you have to have a purpose, that's the thing. And so and I do really like that idea that it's there's a tangible when you the fact that you have a relationship with the charity, and we're going to do a lot more stuff with the Wildlife Trust this year, because now we're donating a little bit more significant money to them, and there's ways that we can involve the team. They organize walks and awareness days, and so there is value in it for the team. There's like volunteering opportunities, which are great. 1% for the planet. It's still like quite a small network. I think there's like 600 members of 1% for the planet. And there's like individuals.
I read somewhere that the amount of charitable money that goes to environmental charities or in organizations is still like really tiny in the grand scheme of things, and that's kind of shocking when you think about it. Well, I find it shocking, but I guess that's because that's what we think about all day. But I think just even raising awareness of it, and because it's such an important thing.
What do you think about all these bigger, more established corporate brands now doing what you're doing, Phil? How do you...
I can't.
I mean, I'm guessing in one way it's good, but also in the other way it's like, oh, come on, man. This is my thing.
No, not at all. No, it is good. Like, it has to be good. There's space for everyone, and we're not... I'm hoping that we're not just judged on the fact that we do refill. I think it's great that people choose us for that reason, but we're working on making the best products we can make, really nice products that should stand their ground against anything that anyone else makes. And I guess for us, there's a lot of storytelling we can do. There's a lot of more radical things we can do that kind of tell stories about waste. So like we because we're small, we can do more creative stuff, I think. Like we worked with a silicone extruder this year to make these little waste silicone bases for our bottles. And it was like, it's a really cool project because you go and see someone, they're not really in that space of zero waste or whatever, and present them the kind of problem or what you want to make, and it's really exciting that they get excited about it because it's a new thing for them. So this company we work with, it's amazing. They're down in Worthing, and they were like landfilling a lot of their waste silicone that was being extruded. It was just being cut off, put into these big bins, and then sent to landfill. And they recognised that it was a big problem, but there wasn't any way of using it. So just by us starting a project with them to make these little bottle bases, they started to find a method of crumbing the silicone, and then they've explored all kinds of different ways of making it into different things. Here, look, I've got something here.
Oh, nice.
So there's like, this is a record slip mat, but we've tried out loads of things, but just like that opportunity to be creative is what excites me. And I don't think big brands can do that because they're so focused on let's sell more of what we do. Whereas I'm interested in, obviously I'm interested in us being successful to an extent so that we can all carry on doing what we do. But I do enjoy the kind of problem solving and just working with people to try and find solutions. Like we did this camping kit, and we made a wash bag out of tents that were collected from festivals that would otherwise have been thrown away. It's little things like that, and nice things to do that get a message across, I guess.
I think I've noticed that, especially since we've gone on like the whole B Corp journey. It's like whenever we're speaking to other people that are like-minded, it's always like it's a different dynamic. It's like, how do we make this work? As opposed to, oh, that's too expensive, or that's not possible, or we've always done it this way. That's a classic one. Yeah.
I guess that's the same thing, like with the products that you make. 'Cause obviously they're better for the planet. They're vegan, everything I mentioned earlier. And a lot of people will think, oh, those kind of products are too expensive. I can't afford those. I should just go for the traditional ones. But I think we were looking into getting some, and they're actually a lot cheaper, aren't they? I don't know if it's because of your refill model. So
So that is really, the idea of democratizing refill is really important to us. We don't want to be like a shishi brand that no one can afford. That's totally counterintuitive. We want to create the aesthetic of something that people want to have in their home, but the point of that is so that they don't throw it away. So we all buy with our eyes, and we want to keep things in our homes. That's human nature. No one can deny that. We want beautiful things around us, or, functional things. That's good design. Good design is sustainability. But it has to be affordable. And we're in control of those costs because I guess we're a maker. We do formulate and make everything ourselves. So we can design a product that people can afford. And if that means focusing on this idea of functional economy, taking out everything that absolutely doesn't need to be there, then we can make sure that it is democratic in that sense.
But I think it's really good because it just means it's accessible to it, especially with cost of living crisis and everything going up. I think it's it's really great step forward.
And we've noticed that has impacted zero waste stores because there is a perception that shopping zero waste is more expensive, but it isn't. I think people need to challenge that idea because shopping zero waste is you can go in and buy as much as you need. It's not, you don't have to buy it, you don't have to buy the 2-for-1s and the bags of 20, or, you can go, if you're making a cake, you can buy like just the right amount of baking soda that you need, or whatever. I think that's really important.
I guess sometimes it comes down to convenience maybe as well. I guess it's, unless you can order online, it's so much more convenient just to pop to your local supermarket and get everything rather than
I agree, but convenience is what's got us all in this mess.
Exactly. But with your products, do you deliver them and then pick them up, or how does that work?
Yeah. So there's I think you asked me this a while ago and I didn't answer it. So yeah, there's loads of different ways that we work. So zero waste. So because I started rambling about something else probably. So we supply either direct to customers in bag-in boxes. So that's those things you see behind me. So like 5 litres or 10 litre boxes. And they can free post return the liner inside the box to us.
Nice.
And we've worked out a way to wash them and refill them. So that is really cost effective because you're getting, if you imagine you're getting a year's worth of laundry detergent delivered to you in one go in a 10 litre bag in box, which is amazing. If that's saving a lot of carbon miles, driving to a store and back, or repeat shipping of a smaller item. Or we supply via Milk and More. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Milk and More model, but it's basically the milkman. The milk person, sorry, and they deliver daily around the UK and most areas of the UK, and you can get shampoo, conditioner, hand wash, laundry liquid, and washing up liquid, and fabric conditioner in a glass bottle like this delivered to your doorstep. And then when it's empty, you leave it on your doorstep. Wow. It gets picked up by the milk float. All electric. They've got the biggest network of electric vehicles, or the biggest closed loop network in the UK. So it made total sense for us to piggyback on that logistics system, and we ship everything plastic free to them in crates, recycled crates, milk crates, glass bottles, aluminium caps, paper banded on reclaimed pallets with recycled pallet board. And then we get it all back and we wash it here, and it just goes round in a loop. And that's an incredible model that happened in 2020. It sort of saved us during the pandemic, to be honest. And then the other way is obviously through the stores themselves, which is my favorite way because I love the stores that we work with, and they've been so amazing supporting us. And I'm in such admiration of what they do. All of them have taken action in their communities to create this store because they felt that their community needed, a hub, and they do such a good job. They're sort of educating, they're teaching people about zero waste. They do a lot of other sort of positive community action, or other things like yoga classes, or they do sort of candle making, or all kinds of things, but they also sell refills there, so it's great to be in that space too.
I love the milk bottle method for shampoo and cleaning. I want to join that now. What was it called again? Sorry, the
Milk and More.
Milk and More.
I've made a note of it.
Is that available in all over the UK?
Or? So
is it?
Most. So at the factory we get our milk and oat milk delivered to the factory from Milk and More, and they send it in a crate, and then you leave the empties outside the factory and they take them away. It's like the old days.
I was just gonna say, like, the coolest thing is, like, it's in this world when, like, everything's becoming like innovation and all these new inventions and all this money being pumped in, and then you've got something so simple that's back to the old school, which actually probably has a huge impact. It's just nice to see that, you know.
It's better.
It's
cooler.
I can't remember how many times a milk bottle goes round, but I think it's like 28 times. But I think they're pushing it further all the time. But it's incredible that a vessel. You think about a Tetra Pak milk or whatever you get in a supermarket, bought, over-designed, thrown away instantly, unrecyclable probably. Even if it is recyclable, it won't get recycled. It's a great thing. So we're really happy to be part of that.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if you could work out like the how much, I don't know, the savings you make from being able to keep reusing that material rather than, the traditional single-use way of doing it. I bet.
That's on. Stats. that all of that life cycle analysis is part of what our commitment on this, like the next stage of B Corp, is our impact report. So we're going to be publishing a lot of that information, where we've come from and all the things we want to do. But it's difficult to do when you're busy doing it,
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the next project that our team is working on.
Oh,
Nice.
we'll look out for that.
I've
got a question, Phil.
Yeah.
So, question for you: where do you think the world is going to be in 10 years? And then also, it's kind of double-edged, really. Where do you think it's going to be, and where would you like it to be?
Well, yeah, it's really difficult. The news is so scary, isn't it? Everything is frightening. I guess we're all fighting for our way of life as it is now, really. But it can't be that way. Like, I don't know if you've read that book about degrowth. Less is more. How degrowth will save the world, by Jason Hickel. But yeah, that's really fascinating. How basically it's all about the idea that we have to want less and be more, basically, and that's sounds a bit like a sort of religious mantra, I guess. But I think that's the only thing that's what we all have to do. We have to be like, we have to change our habits. We have to like just have a different view on what is fulfilling, and that's difficult. I'm the first to admit, look, I'm a record collector, and that's about the accumulation of stuff that I don't need. And that's a real problem for me, because also, especially someone who's like against plastic, who's effectively collecting and hoarding plastic in my living room, which my wife tells me all the time is massively hypocritical. But yeah, I think that's what we ought to do, is like stop having stuff and the stop needing stuff. And there's huge implications for business there, because obviously we've all grown up and lived in a capitalist system and been told that that's the only system that works, and it's all about growth at all costs, and that we can't continue to grow. So if we continue growing in 10 years, we just there won't be enough resource. So yeah, I'm just hoping that we all change mentality.
Yeah. Do you think we have the capacity to do that
Yeah, I do, actually. I do, but I'm frightened about what needs to happen for us. Like, it has to be something so monumental, like a pandemic, before any behavior change happens. And I'm already worried that, we're sort of out of the pandemic now, I guess, or certainly in terms of the news cycle of the pandemic. Behaviors have kind of gone back to how they were before, right? I'm stressed as I was before. I'm not doing all the things that I said I wouldn't do, taking it easy, going for walks, all of the things that the pandemic that mindfulness that we all enjoyed during the first wave. I feel like that's changed. So yeah, I'm hoping that climate change is high on everyone's radar and agenda, and it's going to obviously it's happening now. So it has to be.
Yeah, and I think there's seems to be a huge rise in more purpose-driven businesses like Fill Refill, and I think businesses can help lead the way with it.
I think they have to. I think it's the only way they can,
That's
and I think I think small businesses as well. I think the one thing everyone would agree on, it's definitely going to be a massive time of change, and. I think it's interesting because, like you said, it's so different to how society works and how everybody's psychology is at the moment. So,
no, so small businesses definitely have a massive role to play, because we're able to do the things that we want to do probably more easily. Be a bit more stubborn or a bit braver. That does force bigger businesses to change. And people that work for big businesses aren't bad people. They see what's happening. They want to change things too, but it's just a bit more difficult when you've got big cogs turning. So, but if we can encourage, if we can force that behavior to happen a bit faster, then that's good.
Yeah. I was going to ask if you had one piece of advice for any business owners listening on how to how to help or how to make their business a bit more sustainable, what would that be?
Obviously, buy their boxes from Reuse Box.
Nah.
No.
What about their cleaning
No,
products?
but it's that. Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. Yeah, no, I think it is to have that as part of their strategy, is to like it's about thoughtfulness, isn't it? Thinking about it, that every decision has to be thought about more considerately.
I think as
I
well.
think that's what we've done.
I think I noticed earlier you said very briefly, you were saying when you were doing the milk bottle thing, it helped you get through the pandemic. So I suppose it was like tapping you into a different market. And I think maybe that's possibly kind of what it's about, you know, because you were being so mindful and you're thinking about that, you thought about something really well, you had to design it well, and then it's paid dividends to you future, you know, in the future further on down the road. And I think, I think there can be an upside somewhere in the universe for people that, you know, that don't want to have to invest in trying to work out how to do these things when they don't necessarily need to do them right now. Maybe that's just what I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads. No, I agree. I think there's loads of opportunities, you know, and it's exciting. Like I was talking about Planet Minimal. Hamish wanted to create a business around electric vehicles and sort of evolved this business, you know, as he made it up as he went along, and it's an absolutely brilliant, thriving business now. So that, you know, that didn't exist, probably couldn't have existed 10 years ago. So yeah, I think there are lots of opportunities. And there's some brilliant young people making them happen.
That's probably the glue that holds it together and makes it so great. It's just
there's a lot of
just giving a shit.
Yeah. It's not. You're not like, right, let's go out and sell today.
Yeah.
It's not about that, is it? It's about everything else.
Caring. It is. But that from we've had pressure from bank managers and stuff. If I was out going sell, they'd probably all be a lot happier. And there are brands that are a lot bigger than us that are more successful than us. But I honestly don't want to be that. That's not right. It's not, you know, you have to accept what your limitations are and what makes you happy. And it comes from a place of privilege where I can be happy with what I've got now and the way it works now. Obviously, I'd like to have a little bit less stress sometimes, but that just goes with having a business, doesn't it? But yeah, I think, you know, we like this kind of steady, do things right, do things well, be proud of everything that you do, and that's where you get the enjoyment. You know, when you make a product that's great, or that looks great, or you make a video that people like. You know, if you have that. I feel maybe I'm a control freak, but if we do something that I don't think is quite right, it really bugs me, you know, because it is so much of you, like that you're putting out there. Not that, like, you know, we're talking about a handful of people that really see it, but it still means a lot for some reason.
I kind of feel like as a long-term solution, you know, I think paper and cardboard, it's seen as this really sustainable solution.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. You know, I think we're not bashing it, but I just feel like it still has this huge impact as a bit of a misconception.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, it was paper was the thing that we were all told to save paper because it was trees, you know.
Yeah.
And it's all switched to plastic now.
I think I'd like I don't know, because I don't want to go bankrupt, but I kind of feel like as a long-term solution, it just needs to be something different. I honestly don't see 50 years time everyone using cardboard boxes to get stuff from A to B. Maybe like rare as a rare thing, but the industry has just grown so much. There's so much demand for it, and now it's like it's the sustainable solution.
With like
paper.
As well. It's you've got boxes everywhere, and everybody just thinks, "Oh, I just put it in my recycling bin. Yeah. You can recycle it," and that's why we're trying to keep it in use for longer. But even so, it's just demand is so huge, isn't it? Like. Yeah, we're only servicing this like teeny tiny.
I think the biggest problem is it needs like collaboration between industries. You know, I think we're fortunate in some ways because like these days you've got these almost aggregators that kind of control industries. People like Amazon, for example, you know, they control a massive slice of e-com. And I feel like if industries talk together, I feel like we can design out a lot of this packaging. I feel like we probably don't need it. I don't know what that's going to mean for a user box, but we'll work it out.
I think that's going to have to happen. I listened to a talk the other day about sort of the future of packaging in the UK, and it was, so we're all going to basically have to have vessels that are shared across categories. So you would have a laundry detergent vessel that could be used by any brand or every brand and every supermarket, so they all fit into the same chain of logistics, and it's going to have to be closed loop logistics. That, you know, that would destroy our brand, but do you know what? We'd find another way. Like, as long as we're still making product, you know, and pushing the boundaries there, that would be fine. But I think that is absolutely what you say. It isn't probably going to be cardboard. It's going to have to be something way more durable.
That makes so much more sense, though. You know? Like, when you think about it, it is insane.
Well, we've done a lot of research to track the impact, you know, and like really roughly to produce like about a ton of like recycled cardboard boxes, it still generates, as a rough average, about half a ton of carbon emissions, as well as like water, and you know, you still have to cut down trees, even to make recycled content sometimes. Yeah, you can't recycle a cardboard infinitely. You can only recycle it a few times, so it's not like glass. So you know, it's not really sustainable when you think about it. And you've got millions made every day in this country. So, you know, when everybody switched to paper bags, I went to Boots and it was a paper bag, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? They just break, don't they? Yeah. And the weight of that, the carbon footprint is higher than plastic. So if I try not to, but if I had to buy a bag, I would buy a plastic bag. And I kind of feel like in that situation, because of like the way businesses and commerce is structured and the psychology behind it, you know, everyone's competing, and I feel like in the future what it needs is, it just needs those big brands and those aggregators. They need to work together and collaborate. And the funny thing is, they'll probably save money from whatever they come up with, because they'll probably be more efficient. Yeah. Certainly over the long term, which is how these big companies work. And I think the one thing we're trying really hard to do with Reuser Box over the next sort of couple of years is, like, we're not trying to be a box company, and we're probably not that good at that. So we're trying to make this more of like a movement, and we're trying to get collaboration. We're trying to get people to say, okay, how do we talk to our competitor and our neighbour, and how do we work together? How do we get in a room and say, not how do we do better than them, but how do we get in a room together and say, how do we make this work more sustainably? Yeah. Because if you come to us and you say, oh, I want this beautifully designed little box that opens like this and has all this, you know, that fits my product perfectly. You know, we can't help you with that. Yeah, we're not a great box company, to be honest. But I don't know.
I love that idea. So you like facilitators of like reuse or repurposing. I remember talking to someone from Northumbria University about they were looking to like partner. So say you had like a commercial laundry or a big business that generated a waste product, if it was like steam or something like that, how could you find a way for another business that needed to use that, you know? And that idea of collaboration, what you know, one person's waste byproduct, whatever it is, how can that be someone else's, you know, help power their factory or whatever? And I think that there's so many opportunities there, but you know, businesses don't tend to work together, you know,
they're competing.
Historically, that just hasn't happened. Yeah, it
is happening so much more though. Like, because I used to be a teacher, and I started working with, like, Jack didn't really want me to work with him, but I just turned up one day and just hung around.
Still here.
And I just kind of thought, I don't want to sell cardboard boxes. Pretty boring. But
the most boring product of all time.
That's not really what I do. I find that we're collaborating with like-minded businesses, and I feel like we've made so many great relationships, and you know, we're almost helping people, which feels similar to what I was doing as a teacher in a really weird way. Not exactly, but you know, it's so I do feel like things have changed, definitely, probably since like the Blue Planet thing, and everybody's suddenly clocking on to plastic isn't that great, and other environmental things.
Yeah.
So I think things are
Well,
changing.
your business solves a problem, that exists now, regardless of what that you'll be solving new problems for sure in 5 years' time. But what you're doing now is solving a particular problem and creating a solution for businesses like us. So it's great.
Hopefully, yeah.
And it's true. It's funny, that idea. So I used to be hung up on this idea of when people ask me what I did, and it's like, oh yeah, we make cleaning products, and you think, it's dull, isn't it? Yeah. But actually, everyone knows what a cardboard box is. Everyone knows what a cleaning product is. You're doing something that's so universal. People are actually interested in it because they understand it. Not like some sort of like nanotechnology that people can't get their heads around.
Yeah,
I think that makes it.
Yeah, I remember I would say to people, oh yeah, we kind of do this thing where we sell boxes, and you could just see people's eyes glazing over and the light just leaving them, and they'd be like, okay. So now I'm like, no, I work for an environmental company and we do great things because we do, and it's more than that. It's not a box company in my eyes, but I don't know.
You've made boxes cool.
Yeah, hopefully.
Cool. I think we're at the end of our questions.
Yeah. It's been really lovely to talk to you, Phil. So thanks so much for your time.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Earth Your While, the podcast that uncovers the truth about how to make your business better for the planet. We hope today's been Earth Your While.
Earlier this year, we joined a group of inspirational business leaders who pledged to plant 1 million trees over the next 10 years. If you'd like to help us reach our goal, or you'd like to find out some more information, head over to reusebox.co.uk/earthyourwhile.